talking about Psalms 71 through 75, which, as always, in the Psalms, explore timeless, epic issues of the relationship between God and his people. So in 71, the psalmist, most likely David, is most consider that he was elderly at this time, and he's looking back on his life and reflecting on how faithful that God has been, how much that he has seen him through, and how important that it is to always be praising the Lord. The devil will flee if we do, and the psalmist vows to praise the Lord through future generations, which he did by his inclusion of this psalm in the Bible. Psalm 72 is most likely Solomon, and it's a prayer for his vision of how he wishes that his kingdom would proceed and be perceived in posterity, and also in exploring issues of the king and divinity, and ultimately 72 is a very messianic, indisputably messianic psalm, where he discusses the ultimate fulfillment of his of what a king should bring to the people, being fulfilled in Jesus, of course. Psalm 73 is a lament for the prosperity of the wicked, and we start to see a change of tone towards God here, and it does include, though, that the psalmist thanks God for all the miraculous things that he has done in the past, and a recognition that the prosperity of the wicked is only temporary. I would also say that it's interesting when he brings up Leviathan and how God obliterated Leviathan and the people got to eat the meat, which I don't know if that was tasty or not. What are you having for lunch today? I'm going to have some broiled Leviathan or something. I don't know. Anyway, now between 73 and 74, something truly pivotal happens, and that's the destruction of the temple in Israel and the suffering of the people. And there's a great deal of lamenting of, God, why have you brought this upon us, and so forth. It calls upon the people to unite in support and in praise and in love of God as the only hope from the situation in which they find themselves. And then in Psalm 75, there is a recalibration to recognizing that God is faithful, sovereign control, and inevitability of his justice, encouraging believers to trust in his timing and in his fairness. You know, the truth of the matter is we don't have any choice. I mean, we have free choice, but if we choose to go against God, then that's not going to end well. So a wise people will praise the Lord, be in fear of the Lord, show love to the Lord, feel love for the Lord, because everything in our lives, including ourselves, belongs to him. And while we do have free will, it's only to give us the opportunity to not be forced to worship the Lord. But doing otherwise never seems to end very well. So there are some epic themes here, and it's good to revisit them. And here is a multimedia presentation which will bring all of this home. And I hope you enjoy that too.
Psalms 71, 75 encompass a rich tapestry of themes ranging from personal pleas for protection to communal laments over national crisis. Each psalm offers unique insights into the human experience of faith, the nature of God's justice, and the power of praise. Psalm 71, a prayer for lifelong faithfulness. Psalm 71 is a personal prayer for God's protection and support throughout one's life. The psalmist, likely an elderly person, looks back on God's faithfulness in the past and calls for continued deliverance from adversaries. There is a strong emphasis on trust, with repeated declarations of hope and praise. The psalmist vows to proclaim God's mighty acts to future generations, highlighting the importance of lifelong devotion and witness. Psalm 72, a royal vision of justice and prosperity. Attributed to Solomon, Psalm 72 is a royal psalm that prays for the king's reign to be characterized by justice, righteousness, and prosperity. It envisions an ideal ruler who defends the poor and needy, ensuring peace and flourishing for the nation. This psalm not only reflects hopes for Solomon's reign, but also looks forward to the ultimate fulfillment in the Messiah's perfect and eternal rule. It underscores the aspiration for leaders who embody divine justice and compassion. Psalm 73. Wrestling with the prosperity of the wicked. Psalm 73 tackles the age-old problem of the prosperity of the wicked. The psalmist initially struggles with envy and doubt, observing that the wicked seem to thrive while the righteous suffer. This internal conflict is resolved when the psalmist enters the sanctuary of God and gains a divine perspective. The realization that the wicked's success is temporary and that true security is found in God brings peace. The psalm concludes with a reaffirmation of trust in God's justice and goodness, teaching the importance of maintaining faith despite life's apparent injustices. Psalm 74, a communal lament in crisis. In stark contrast to the other psalms in this section, Psalm 74 is a communal lament over the destruction of the temple and the suffering of the people. It cries out to God, questioning why he has allowed such devastation and pleading for his intervention. The psalmist recalls God's past deeds of salvation and creation, appealing to his covenant faithfulness. This lament emphasizes the importance of communal solidarity in times of crisis and the hope for divine restoration. Psalm 75, a declaration of God's righteous judgment. Psalm 75 is a declaration of God's righteous judgment and a reminder that he is the ultimate arbiter of justice. The psalmist expresses confidence that God will judge the wicked and uphold the righteous. It portrays God as sovereign, holding the power to exalt or bring down individuals and nations. The takeaway is a reassurance of God's sovereign control and the inevitability of his justice, encouraging believers to trust in his timing and fairness. The journey through Psalm 75 takes readers from personal petitions for lifelong faithfulness to reflections on divine justice and communal cries for help. Each psalm provides valuable lessons about trust, justice, and the power of faith, with Psalm 74 standing out for its somber tone of lament amidst the overarching themes of hope and praise.